Hey everybody, welcome back. It's another exciting episode of The Stash, report from the Stash Project. Today is December 2nd, 2019. We have a few kit announcements, a few kit releases. Just your standard Stash report. I know you're all dying to find out. No. Alright, so joking aside, we have some kit announcements from Aoshima. I've got a couple wheel sets they tossed into the January pile and their February kit releases, and then we have a couple of domestic releases, and then everything else is cleaning up the end of November overseas. So the wheels that they are going to reissue in January are on the 18-inch wheel sets, the Workmeister S1. By the way, if you happen to have the JGTC Lancia 037 kit, those would be the wheels that you need for said kit to make the wheels that are on the box art that did not actually come in the box. So getting a reissue of those wheels were basically impossible to find. It seems like everybody who wanted to build one of those Lancias correctly went out and bought all of the wheels a couple of weeks before the kit came out. So those are getting a reissue, along with their compatriots, the Work of Motion CRs and the Volk Racing TE37 RTs. And then the 14-inch wheel sets we're going to see back are the Mark 1 and Star 5 standard depth wheels. And then in February, they're going to reissue the Lamborghini Aventador Roadster, the 2002 R34 GTR V-Spec 2, the 2014 GTR Pure Edition, the 1979 Mark II Chaser, and that Toyota kit does have two bodies, but you can only build it one way or the other. The 1998 Toyota Chaser Toro 5, the 1991 Sylvia S13 Vertex, the 1978 Toyota Hilux Custom, the 1985 Toyota AE86 Truno Car Boutique, and one thing else that got moved around here, the Urace Type R body kit for the new tool R34 four-door Nissan Skyline has been moved from a December release, supposed to come out this month, to a February release. So don't know what's going on there in terms of why it got moved, but it did. So anybody who's waiting on that for this month, go buy yourself something else because you don't have to pay for this till February now. So there's that. All right, guys. So on the domestic side of things, we had a couple things out around 2 this week. First up, you have this, which is the old beaded panel Fruhoff 48-foot van, now as the holiday van, or some places be calling it the holiday hauler. Straight reissue of the kit. You see they're pairing it here with the Western Star, which was released not too terribly long ago, also with the Coca-Cola tie-in. Giant sheet of Coca-Cola decals in here, obviously, for the Santa Claus thing of Coca-Cola. I've heard from a few people that retail kits that this trailer is selling actually much better than anyone would have expected it to. So that's kind of interesting. I guess you can't argue with Santa Claus, right? And then also this week we had the release of this kit, which is the 1976, because it's not really a real car. Chevy Vega funny car, Dragstrip Dynamite. Yes. So this is a rail drag chassis with a 76 Vega station wagon body over top of it. So this is molded in two colors. I'm assuming the body is in this weird sort of greenish yellow, and then the rest of it's molded in black, maybe. I'm not sure, totally sure on that. They've added pad printed drag slicks to it, but this kit has not seen the light of day. I might say mercifully so, just because of how really outrageous the kit thing looks when it gets built up, because it really does have wheels to stick that far out of the fender wells, as seen on the box art there. But, I guess it's just one of those things where folks wanted it back, or more likely they found the tooling laying around and back and went, oh, this hasn't been out as long as the guy doing this goofy show on YouTube has been alive. So anyway, that is back out there. It's probably not the Vega of choice for a lot of people. They like to see the MPC Vegas come back, and those will eventually, possibly in 2020, see the light of day as they work on retooling the bodies up to make them, well, fit a little bit better, plus also address some issues with the tooling that happened over the course of the years. So there's that, and then we go overseas here. We have some Aoshima stuff, we have some Hasegawa stuff, and one Fujimi stuff. The Fujimi stuff is this 124 scale accessory parts. Now, this does not come with a Suzuki Hustler. It only comes with the pieces. The pieces being the top left picture here, but they sort of show you some extra, like oh, here's how you can do it. So it's basically some a camp chair, a teddy bear, some pillows, a Kleenex box, a pack of non branded but obviously Marlboro intended cigarettes, a couple cans of pop, and a soda holder, a pair of rollerblades, a skateboard, and also you do get the vending machine. So there is that is a very nice 1980s Japanese vending machine. Might look good in your 1980s Japanese car diorama, garage diorama. And I think you also get those little TV antenna style things there. So there's that back out. I'm not necessarily sure anybody was clamoring for any of those things, but as is a lot of what Fujimi does, it's all like, hey, we have this stuff laying around. Let's box it into something else. Okay, yeah, sure. Uh, this is why we have 900 different versions of the Hustler G and still haven't seen those new tool Jimneys yet, right? So going over to Hasegawa, we got 3 releases cleaning up the end of November, and they are this, which is a reissue of the Nissan Sunny truck, now with chin spoilers. So the only thing that's new about this kit is that chin spoiler. It is a resin piece, not an injected molded piece. So keep that in mind in terms of building it, as well as just storing it, as resin pieces tend to, depending on the resin, depending on the manufacturing process of the resin, can tend to shrink and warp over time. So want to build that, you might want to grab it and put it together rather than leaving it sit around for the next 20 years. Anybody who has any of the Fujimi kits with the resin body parts can tell you all about that. And then you have this reissue of the Lamborghini Miura P400 Super Veloce with an Italian girl figure. Resin girl, all the things. Yes, this is another resin girl figure. At least we don't have a demonic shadow that she's casting in this like some of the other ones did. She is, however, permanently molded in the meme where the guy is looking at the other girl. Apparently, she's looking at the other guy. I don't know where her boyfriend is, disappointed in the background. But she does permanently have that. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could, since it's resin, you could work it to have her posed however you want her as far as her head goes. But at assembly basis, she's turned to the side. Her skirt is also about a half an inch longer than propriety there. Whew, it's awful close to not being something you can put on the box art or enter into an IPMS contest. Other than that, the Miura is the same Miura it's always been. It's been out for 20 years now, so it's nothing new to talk about there, just having a figure tossed into it. And then last but not least, since we do mention the figures, since they're 124 scale, you have this, which is the figure collection number 7, Hollywood Celebrity Girls figures. Now, I don't know what celebrities these are supposed to be. I find it very interesting that this is almost a... well, I guess these aren't really aged. These don't have a 70s vibe to them in the first place, although I don't know how close that is to current fashion either, but that it's got sort of a 2000s era, maybe even a 2010s era BMW parked on the curb there, so that's kind of a different twist. These are not resin girls. These are injected molded girls. So these figure collection ones are actually plastic. They are American-ish. They do still kind of have at least in the drawing of the box art, still have a slightly Asian cast to them, which I assume is just the nature of having somebody Japanese, sculpt something. You're always going to sort of have a little flavor. There may be like 2-3 generations in from immigrating, but be that as may, there's just a little bit of a cast to it, which is not a thing. I just realized as I'm looking at the box art that they're not quite really what you would consider to be prototypical California girls, Valley girls. Oh my god, I'm in a box, guys. This is so awesome. And then we go over to Aoshima, which we have a couple of straight reissues and then the box stuff for this month. The straight reissues are the Liberty Walk R35 GTR version 1.5. 1.5. I said last week that one was version 1.5, but the sort of matte gray one is actually version 2. And then we had this, which is the reissue of the Liberty Walk, the Liberty Work, R35, version 2, Type 1. So this is the version 2, updated to 2018 spec as far as all of the body work and the lights and things like that. And then we have the kits from this month. On the model car side of things, you get this release, which is the 2003 Toyota Crown. They did not put like Royal or Athlete here because you can build this kit actually as a 4-in-1. You get the 2003 Crown Royal and Crown Athlete that are on the box. If you can't tell the difference, the Athlete is the sportier one closest to you. So basically, between these two cars, the 2003 Crowns, the only difference between the two is the front bumper and the grille. Obviously, the wheels are obvious, but just the front bumper and grille probably a little less. And then this kit also has the parts in it to build a 2005 Crown Royal and Crown Athlete, of which there are maybe 2 or 3 pieces. I think there's a steering wheel difference between the years, and then there's a different front bumper again for the 2005 cars. The 2003, 2005 are the same generation, the GRS 180s, so they're very similar, but there's still a few differences, which over the course of the years, Aoshima did, through their plethora of Crown Athlete and Crown Royal kits, did, update as they went along. So these kits are back out. You have to pick one or the other. Obviously, there's only one body inside. And that's just fun to have back because these early Crowns have not been available since the very early 2000s when they were brand new. So this is a kit that basically, if you talk about the 2003 cars, hasn't been available in 15 years. The 2005 cars haven't been available in like 12, 13 years. So those are kind of nice to have back if you're into your Japanese four-door sedan. And then over on the tuned model car side of things, you have this, which is a reissue of the Toyota Hilux Custom, sort of not monster truck, but certainly off-road variety. So this is the the Hilux Custom pickup that also features in the Lowrider series with a much higher, jauntier four-wheel drive suspension. It's been reissued 100 times, even since we've been doing this show. Nothing new here, just putting it into a new box. And then lastly, we have the Wings West Honda Accord station wagon. So yes, there is a 1999-ish, I think is what this is supposed to be. I don't know if they gave a year. 1996 Honda Accord station wagon that Aoshima tooled up. Curbside kit, just one of those sort of catalog specifications, I like to call it, factory stock kit. And then, of course, over the course of years, they added some tuner stuff to it, Wings West version, and things like that. This is kind of more VIP than it is tuner, but be that as it may. This particular car, much like some of the other wagons that they've reissued here in the last couple of months, is something that has not seen the light of day in 10 or 15 years. So, I don't know necessarily like, oh my God, it's back out kind of thing. But if you're into this type of vehicle, then oh my God, it's back out again, because this is, again, something that was getting very, very pricey and very, very hard to find. So I'm sure those people who do build this stuff, and of the various tuner wagons that we've talked about the last couple of months, this is the one while I didn't buy it, would be the one that I would consider buying the most, because it's sort of just a little more aggressive in terms of obviously the front bumper and things like that, but it's not overly ridiculous in terms of its body panels and wheels and things like that. So anyway, guys, that wraps up this week. We hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and are finally getting your kids back to school, much like we are today. And before you know it, it'll be Christmas, and before you know it, it'll be 2020. But in the meantime, we still got 3 weeks more shows to go, so that's a good thing. I believe it's either going to be this week or next week will give us the most stash reports we've ever done in 1 year, at least as far as having the operating system here on this computer, which would be 3 years old at this point. So, I know that some of these have been later than others, and this one probably is equally as late, but we're slowly but surely catching up to real time here. And thanks for everybody for just being patient while we work out our real life, as it applies to YouTube. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys on the other side.